Hey everyone, this is Carlos Corral with the El Paso Film Festival, and I'm coming to you with another filmmaker interview. This time we're interviewing Mr. Pablo Olmos Arrayales, and he's coming to you live from Mexico City. Pablo, welcome to the El Paso Film Festival.
Hi, Carlos. I'm really excited to be part of the Paso Film Festival, and thank you for having me here.
Yeah, and I really wish we could have met in person. It's always great to see a filmmaker, especially from Mexico. And because we're in El Paso, right next to Ciudad Juarez, I really had hoped to have you here at this festival. But unfortunately, due to COVID, we're all staying from home. But I'm really glad that you are here because I have so many questions about your feature film, Rendez-vous. So for the people watching at home, Rendez-vous will be available October 16th on our streaming TV channels. And it is a very interesting movie because it is a one-take feature film. So Pablo, tell me how that idea came up. You decided to do a one-take feature film. Those are not easy.
Yeah, no, I think I was really naive when I take this idea. I met with my producers and friends back in summer of 2018. And I tell them, what do you want to do this year? Another short film, or for the same budget, you want to do a feature film? So the three of us agreed to make a feature film. The only condition is for the budget, we only have to do it once in one day. So the idea or the technique born before the story. Then I wrote a story that as viewer, we can be a voyeur of this couple that met through the internet app, right? So that's how the idea born.
No, yeah, and I also wanted to ask you a little bit about the story as well, because when I was watching the film, it gave off very different vibes. I felt a little bit of Cuarón in your film because it's black and white in Mexico. It's a date night, and then as it evolves, it starts to turn into a thriller. Very Hitchcock movie. But also, too, I was actually curious, I was in college. The first movie I saw was Russian Ark, which was a one take. I was curious, did all of this influence of cinema go into Rendezvous? And was that was that the film that you made?
Thank you, Carlos, for asking. I think as long as the story goes without the technique, it was influenced, obviously, by Hitchcock. I wanted to make a movie that felt kind of psycho. When you see the first 30 minutes of Psycho, you think you are watching a heist movie, and suddenly it turns into this slasher serial murder movie that we all love. So I wanted to make a movie that feels like a romance movie, and suddenly it turns into a thriller. So that's my main influence was the noir movies in the 30s and the 40s, especially Hitchcock. And the way we treat the image with the black and white and going in this typical neighborhood in Mexico, that's Coyoacan, is because I wanted two things. I wanted to make a tribute to all the classic filmmaking that not most of the new generation are watching. I had heard this, that people get bored when they see black and white movies. I don't know why. They are the greatest. And the other thing is I wanted to put it in a neighborhood that's really important for me. Coyoacan is a very cultural neighborhood here in Mexico, where El Indio Fernandez is one of our most important directors of all time, live. Also Frida Kahlo lived there. So I wanted to make the movie in that neighborhood. So I'm glad that you feel it in this Cuarón style. That feels like a huge compliment for the movie.
No, for sure. And it's always great because filmmakers like Cuarón are definitely inspiring new generation of filmmakers like you.
Sure.
So going back, I did want to ask you a little bit because I've done a one take short film. It was it was challenging, but we did it. You know, we rehearsed and we did the take probably like 16 times, and then take 11 was great. So yeah, what went into the planning for this? I know you only had a day to do it, but you know, with your actors, with you, like, did you figure out, you know, mapping the plan beforehand, and how long did that take, and just what were the challenges?
Right. Yeah, yes. As I told you, I was really naive before I go into production because I always thought it was going to be 1 week, like 4 days of rehearsals and then 1 day shooting. So once we got the main location, the house, I went with my production team and with my DP, and we make a pre-visualization of the movie with a phone, you know, to record the songs, the shots, and then I start to collaborate with the DP of which shots are the better for to tell the story, and that thing only take us 5 days just to take the shots, you know, without actors. So once we have all the shots, we rehearse like 3 weeks with the actors. In that 3 weeks, the first week was just talking with them about their characters, what's their psyche, what they are thinking about, what's happening before the movie starts, all that kind of things. And then we rehearse every day for those 3 weeks, like for 5, 6 hours. And then we started to rehearse the whole movement. And obviously, we can do it the whole movie every day. We shot like only the first part in the neighborhood. And once we have that one, let's move to the first part in the intro of the house. And then when we have that, then we move to that, and so on and so on and so on. And then we run the movie once just to see if the camera will hold the whole movie, the batteries, the lights, the sound. And when we did that, we realized that we're going to need more monitors inside the house because we have to hide some people of the crew in the house.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
they have to have their own monitors so they know when they have to come in and make some things without ruining the shooting. And then we made once more another rehearse with the camera without the final act because I didn't have all the actors. And then we did the movie. You know, so it was around 4 weeks of pre-realization, rehearsing with the actors, rehearsing with the phone, 2 days with the camera, and then Dios nos agarró confesados.
Sí, qué bueno. No, yeah, and let me ask you this. So, this is your first feature, or is it your
That's
second?
right. This is my
Yeah,
first
so
feature.
this is your first feature too, and this is your U.S. premiere here at the El Paso Film
Yeah,
Festival.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I know reading, you know, your biography and everything, you had two short films play on at Rey Network with Robert
That's
Rodriguez.
right.
And yeah, so you know, you mentioned that we can do another short film or do a feature. So why a feature? You know, you were just, you know, it's like, I think it's time. This is the right one to do. Why the feature then?
Yeah. It's been forever, man. It's been forever that I've been trying to do a feature film. I lived in Spain for 13 years, so I only been here in Mexico 4 years or so when I came back. And in my time that I was living in Spain, I was shooting short films, making commercials, and always trying to do a feature film. And it's always, you know, it's too expensive or it's not the kind of movie we are looking for. So when I moved here in Mexico, the same thing happened. I came here with one script. I show it around with producers company and with production company, sorry. And they told me it's really expensive. It's really cool, but it's really expensive. So I wrote another movie and they told me the same thing. It's really cool. It's not expensive, but nobody's doing this in Mexico. And I was, let's do it. So I wrote this so I can shoot myself with my own resources. So it was just, I don't know how you say it in English, las ganas. It's just
yeah, con huevos.
yeah, it's just let's make it, man. Let's jump into the feature film, and that's something I always learn from Rob Rodriguez. It's don't be afraid, do your movies, do your
Yeah,
movies.
and I thought that was something that was great because even with the low budget you had, I thought it was really creative and that you are able to keep the attention of everyone. It's an hour and 40 minutes, and I think it's amazing what you did.
Thank you.
So definitely motivation for filmmakers. Hey, if you don't think this movie will work out because it's going to be too many production days, try it in one take. You never know.
Yeah. It's really hard. It's really hard. but yeah, don't be afraid. Do your movies.
Yeah. And so what else can you tell me, about the film? I meant to also ask your actors. I know you rehearsed with them for several weeks, but were things happening in the movie, during the one take? I had this happen to me too on my short. Sometimes things didn't go as planned, or
Right.
something missed their mark, or one little thing was out of place. But how did your actors know just to, hey, just keep going, stay in character, never
Okay.
break, keep
Okay.
going, so how did they plan for that? And then how were you adjusting? Because I know you as the director are watching the monitors and you're like, oh, we missed something, or oh, we forgot this, or so how did you guys maintain your composure to
Right.
complete the whole film?
First of all, I was really open-minded from the beginning. I talked with them. It's really a very technical movie. So my space for improvisation is very little. So in the rehearsal, I told them this. I need you to learn the dialogues because they mean something, and they also mean when the camera has to move, and the DP will know when to pan or when to push in or when to pull back, etc. So for the space of improvisation, it was a really little space, especially in rehearsal time. But then also I told them something is going to happen in the shooting day, something, because it's always like that. It's always like that. So you need it. If something happened, you need to put it in the movie and keep with the plan, with plan A. And I told them about this story on the waterfront from Elia Hassan, when Marlon Brando picked up the glove of Eva Mary Saint and then he put it in his hand, and he's making these sexual movements and so on and so on. And that was a whole game from Marlon Brando. She messed her glove and he picked it up. And the greatest thing about Elia Kazan is he never shot cut, because you need to be able to know that something is really happening live in the shooting day. So I won't tell you what, but three things happened different in the movie as it was planned. But they did it great. They brought it to the movie, and hopefully nobody can tell.
Well, I couldn't. That's why I was actually also curious. How many times did you do it? And I figured like, oh, okay, they probably did it, 3 or 4 times, and I thought, like, okay, there's probably 3 or 4 different versions of Rendezvous, with one thing happening one time, it didn't happen the second time, or the third time something completely new happened. Especially with the environment, not just your actors or your cinematography, but props to your sound guy as well for keeping up and making sure everything was okay.
Thank you.
The wrong, and si pasa un carro, and you get you get a car horn and you're like, it's on the dialogue. What do I do? But
yeah, I know. Yeah. It's a matter of rehearsal. Preparation is the most important thing in a movie. We only had like 6 person holding the traffic when we were walking in the street. Just the people that are closer to the camera, it's my family and friends. The rest of the person is the person that live over there. So the only thing we do is, we shoot in a movie, don't look at the camera, you can cross, and that kind of thing. But we only did it once. So it's a matter of preparation.
No, yeah. So I say felicidades por hacer es algo maravilloso.
Muchas gracias.
So, but yeah, so congratulations for making such a great film, you know, and an indie film, you know, as well, you know, being creative, staying creative. So what kind of advice do you have for filmmakers out there, especially ones who have not made their first feature film?
Right.
You know, they've made shorts just like you, but they want to make that jump, but they you know, I always tell people fear forward. You know, it's okay, and I think that's what I like so much about Rendezvous. But yeah, what advice do you have for filmmakers?
Yeah, I think the first one is to have courage. If you want to tell a story, do it yourself, because this is a business. So people want to invert in something that it's a remake, a sequel, a prequel. They are not trying to do new stuff, and so you got to do the new stuff. So you got to go and tell your own story, and that you can do it only with courage. And in a practical way, it's just to have everything really prepared, really prepared. I like to storyboard my movies frame by frame. This is my first one, but in my short films, I did the same thing. I have long conversations with my crew, have a lot of conversations with the cast. So you have this movie in your head, you have to download it so that everybody can understand it and make the movie you want to make. And be very grateful with all your crew and your cast, because they don't have to do your movie, but they will do it because they believe in you if you have a vision. So that's like my 3 tips for a new coming director to the feature film ground.
No, that's always great advice. You know, sometimes I wish someone had told me that out of film school. It's just go do it, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, you're always afraid because you always wanted to make Citizen Kane. You know, you always want to make your first movie to make the best movie ever made on, and that won't happen. I mean, Orson Welles is just one Orson Welles in the whole story. So just make one movie, and maybe you will fail, and make the second one and the third one, and so on and so on. I learned a lot in this movie. Hopefully we will shoot another indie feature this year, because we feel more confident doing just once, you know? So forget about doing Citizen Kane. Just do your film. If it sucks, don't show it, but you will learn a lot. And then do the second one.
Yeah, that's great advice, and especially I'm glad to hear you're going to make another one. I'm curious to see what you do next. So, well, thank you, Pablo, for taking the time to chat with us today here at El Paso Film Festival. And for everyone at home, check out Rendezvous. It starts streaming October 16th. You will love this movie. I know I did. So take the time and watch and see the one-take movie, Rendezvous. So thank you guys so much, and stay tuned for more filmmaker interviews here with El Paso Film Festival.